Right now at noon, a woman is held against her will in Carthage. We learn how the police tracked down and arrested her kidnapper.
And we had some pretty cool temperatures across the area this morning. What does the weekend look like? I'll have the answer in your forecast.
Plus, Madagascar is the only place lemurs naturally call home. So how did the Springfield, Missouri police end up catching one? We'll have the hilarious primate pursuit straight ahead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, a Jasper County man is behind bars after allegedly assaulting and kidnapping a woman. According to the Jasper County Sheriff's Office, deputies were called about 1 p.m. Wednesday to the area of CR 105 and Fur Road in Carthage. Deputies found the victim, who told them that she was assaulted during the morning of September 12th and held against her will. When the suspect fell asleep, the woman was able to leave and call for help. According to JCSO, when a deputy approached the residence where the assault occurred, he saw the suspect leaving the residence and get into a vehicle. The deputy gave commands for the suspect to stop, but the suspect put the vehicle in gear and fled the scene. The deputy began pursuing the suspect, and after several miles, the suspect stopped his vehicle near Old 66 and Esterly Drive near Kellogg Lake in Carthage, and gave up after being surrounded by Jasper County deputies and Carthage police officers. The suspect, a 23-year-old man from Carthage, was arrested, taken to the Jasper County Detention Center, and now he faces domestic assault, kidnapping, and resisting arrest charges. A Webb City, Missouri man is the last of multiple defendants to plead guilty in a case that involved an abduction in Joplin and a murder in Oklahoma. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has the story.
On July 15, 2020, the body of Jolene Walker Campbell was found in Mays County, Oklahoma. Trey Akerson is the last of multiple defendants to plead guilty to his involvement in the death of Campbell. According to the United States Attorney's Office of Northern Oklahoma, Akerson had robbed Campbell just a few hours before he and co-defendant Brianna Sloan kidnapped her in Joplin. The three then drove across state borders into Oklahoma. During the trip, Campbell fell asleep. Sloan and Akerson then drove into a field in Mays County where Akerson shot Campbell, cut her throat, and beat her to death, then left the scene with Sloan. As it stands, both Akerson and Sloan face up to life in prison for the murder of Campbell. 7 other defendants have pled guilty to crimes related to obstructing the federal investigation, including witness tampering. Most of these defendants are facing 20 or more years in prison. In a comment made by FBI Special Agent Edward J. Gray, Jolene Campbell left behind a grieving family that deserves justice. We hope they can finally begin to heal from this tragic loss. Thanks to the dedicated efforts of the FBI and our law enforcement partners, the defendants are now facing decades in prison for their involvement in this horrific crime. End quote. We have reached out to the family of Jolene, but they have decided to not speak with the press until sentencing is carried out.
The U.S. Attorney's Office said charges were dismissed after 2 additional defendants. And Oklahoma authorities charge a man with 3 murders. John Brian Good was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of Jack Grimes, Dwayne Shelby, and Dwayne's mother, Glenda Cookie Parton of Tulsa. Officials say the 3 went missing in October 2021. Grimes' remains were found in a wooded area on October 31st, 2021. Then Selby and Parton's remains were found last month, approximately 1.2 miles away from the original findings. Good entered a non-contest plea and another murder in May of 2022, and he was sentenced to 32.5 years in the Department of Corrections on September 12th, 2023. A day later, Good was charged with 3 counts of murder and is now a suspect in a 5th murder investigation. A police pursuit of a 34-foot camper turns into a manhunt stretching from Missouri into Oklahoma. The pursuit began shortly after 11 a.m. yesterday morning in the Seneca, Missouri area. A pickup pulling a 34-foot camper trailer was fleeing Newton County deputies south on MO 43 when headed westbound on State Highway U into Oklahoma. Ottawa County deputies and the Oklahoma Highway Patrol joined Missouri authorities when the pursuit entered the Sooner State. The pursuit ended just south of E114. There were 2 men in that pickup. One male fled on foot and the second was detained. A perimeter was set and police deployed helicopters, drones, canines, and ATVs to search for the fleeing suspect. The male suspect is known to law enforcement, related to a currently investigation, and is wanted on multiple outstanding felony warrants. He's described as a 5'10" white male with facial hair. Authorities request if you see anyone suspicious in that area to call 911.
This morning it was quite chilly up to the north with readings in the 40s in Fort Scott, 50 in Nevada, and in Stockton, 49 in Greenfield. Then we started seeing 60s in the metro area and 50s, so a very cool fall-like morning across the area. Temperatures have rebounded though. We're now in the 50s and 60s across the region, and we're expecting highs in the 70s later on today. Radar is clear in our local area, but we have to expand out a little bit to see some precipitation way out in western Oklahoma. That's part of a storm system that's going to move to the south and east, well away from us. We're going to be left with partly cloudy skies and also a little bit of a high allergy index today, 8.8. Tomorrow a little bit better at 8.4, most of that being ragweed. Taking a look at this evening's forecast, temperatures dropping through the 70s to about 54 degrees by tomorrow morning. So not as chilly tomorrow morning as we saw this morning. Partly cloudy today, fantastic for your Friday. Some morning showers on Saturday and an unsettled week next week. And of course, I'll spell out all the details for you in the forecast coming up in just a little bit. Caitlin?
An escapee led police in Springfield, Missouri on a wild chase Tuesday. The ring-tailed culprit was a pet lemur, a primate native to Madagascar. The Springfield Police Department got a call that a furry fugitive was seen in a neighborhood park, and officers gave chase. Despite the lemur's speed, the officers refused to throw in the towel, although one tried to throw a towel over the animal in an effort to capture it. With the help of some passersby, the lemur was eventually rounded up and taken to animal control, then reunited with its owner. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon. While the American public doesn't agree on much, recent polls reveal that they do agree on one thing: our politicians are simply too old. We take a look at the aging leaders in Washington. And later, we're making weeknight chicken Milanese in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Now we go to Washington, where Republican Senator Mitt Romney says he will not seek re-election next year, ending a decades-long political career. The 76-year-old from Utah cited his age and called for a new generation of leaders to step forward. Ed O'Keefe has more from the White House.
And I think it's time for guys like me to get out of the way and have people in the next generation step forward.
Utah Republican Senator Mitt Romney is 76 and would have been well into his 80s if he'd won another 6-year term.
The issues of the day relate to China, climate change, AI, and a lot of guys in their 80s who know how to deal with those issues.
A recent CBS News poll found nearly 8 in 10 Americans might agree, favoring a maximum age for elected officials, with most fearing they might be out of touch or unable to do the job past age 75. Romney is among a growing list of aging senators.
The Senate has become the most privileged nursing home in the country.
On the campaign trail, Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley first raised the idea of mental competency tests for any office holder over age 75.
These people need to know when to leave.
And in an interview with CBS Evening News' Nora O'Donnell, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis also raised concerns about age and the presidency.
You're talking about a job where you need to give it 100%. We need an energetic president.
President Biden is 80 and would be 86 by the end of a second term. Former President Donald Trump is 77, 82 if he wins and serves a full second term.
I think it'd be a great thing if both President Biden and former President Trump were to stand aside and let their respective party pick someone in the next generation.
So what should be the maximum age of office holders? Well, our CBS News poll finds that the majority of Americans across age groups and parties would cap the age of elected officials at 70. About a third of the Senate is older than 70. Most of Congress is under that age. And then, of course, there are the 2 frontrunners vying to live at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, the White House.
Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
If you're only making French fries in your air fryer, you're missing out. So let me share with you a new way that you can use it to get dinner on the table tonight.
And we have partly cloudy skies out there this morning, but what does that mean for the forecast as well as the weekend? I'll have the answer when we come back. What a gorgeous fall day we have had so far. Cool this morning with lows in the 40s up towards the north, 50s elsewhere, so it was a very nice morning, and we're looking for a pretty nice afternoon. Right now at Seneca, Missouri, at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, lots of indigo sky out there, just a few cumulus clouds in the afternoon is what we're expecting. Radar is all clear right now across our area. We did have a few showers earlier down in northeastern Oklahoma that moved over into northwestern Arkansas, but now the showers are only found out in western Oklahoma, from west of Enid and west of Oklahoma City in the Panhandles, and that's all mainly moving to the south and east, staying away from us, not really expecting a whole lot of precipitation from that particular system. Temperatures right now are starting to warm up, 70s for the most part, 76 in Stockton and Nevada. You can see it just jumped up to 77, 75 in Parsons, 75 in Pittsburgh as well. And we're expecting temperatures to rise into the upper 70s and lower 80s by this afternoon. One of the factors in the cooler weather in the mornings are these dew points. Look at how low they are. They're in the 40s, and that really allows the temperature to drop at night when you have clear skies and light winds like we had last night. And we're going to be seeing those temperatures pretty chilly again in the morning. And as we go through the weekend, we're going to see the dew points increasing, especially on Saturday morning. That's when the next round of showers and sprinkles will start to move into our area. But then as we go into Sunday and Monday, we're going to go back into dry dew points with dew points generally in the 40s across the area. Rain chances, not really to be found over the next 36 hours, pretty close to zero across our area. And it's all because we're watching this storm system that's over us to the south and west. That's going to stay to the south and west. Then on Saturday, we have a weak system that will be rolling through very quickly Saturday morning. And once that passes us by, we're going to be left with northwesterly winds in the upper levels, and that's going to dry us out as well as we go into Sunday and Monday. So it looks like most of the weekend is looking pretty nice. Rainfall amounts are not going to really be all that intense or heavy with that system on Saturday. In fact, maybe a 2 or 3 100ths, not very high. That's hardly enough to settle the dust, and that would mainly be off towards the west, and most areas are not going to receive hardly a thing on Saturday with that system. Temperatures this afternoon, as I mentioned, are going to be in the upper 70s, maybe touching 80 in a few locations, but it's going to be a really nice day, southeasterly winds. And then tonight, with those low dew points, we're going to see temperatures dropping right back down into the low to mid 50s across the area. Not quite as cool as this morning, but still very nice and pleasant for this time of year. And then tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy skies with temperatures rising into the mid to upper 70s, maybe a stray shower or sprinkle out towards the west. And then as we go into Saturday morning, that's when we start to see the sprinkles and showers moving across our area with lows in the 60s for the most part. And then on Saturday afternoon, northerly winds come in, drier air comes in as well with highs generally in the mid to upper 70s across the area. So a pretty nice Saturday afternoon. Here's a look at the next 7 days. Sunday looks pretty good too with a high of 82, Monday 84, Tuesday 85, the warmest day of the week, and then showers and thunderstorms move in on Wednesday with a 30% coverage, and then better chances of showers and storms late Friday into Saturday of next week, with temperatures remaining pretty seasonable around here with highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s. So let's just keep this nice weather going, shall we?
Absolutely. Sounds good. Well, stick around because we're making weeknight chicken Milanese in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Today he's making an easy air fryer recipe that's going to change the way you make dinner for you and that special someone. It's called Weeknight Chicken Milanese. Take a look.
Every week, more and more of you are asking us if we have any new recipes that are air fryer friendly. So today, I want to share a recipe that tastes amazing and that can be made in just minutes in an air fryer. It's called Chicken Milanese, and if you're ready, I'd love to show you how to make it. The first thing you want to do is cut a chicken breast in half, like this. Then gently flatten each piece with a meat mallet. The key to chicken Milanese is that the chicken is really thin. Now we dip each piece in some seasoned flour. This will help the breading stick. And from there, we dip it in some beaten egg, mixed with a bit of water, before dredging them in panko breadcrumbs. At this point, we cook these off in our air fryer, which will make them nice and crispy. Or if you haven't gotten an air fryer yet, you can always use your oven. Once they're super crispy, take them out and serve them topped with mixed greens and basic salad fixins. Drizzle on a little vinaigrette, and you've just made a restaurant fancy dish in no time, and no tippings required. To get the recipe for our weeknight chicken Milanese, which is from our air fryer cookbook, simply visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an air fryer friendly way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
And we're looking at mostly fair skies today with a high of around 80 degrees. Then tomorrow, 81. A chance of showers on Saturday morning and a better chance of showers and storms late next week. But look at those temperatures. Absolutely wonderful for this time of year.
I'd say. What do you have for us tonight now, Dal?
Well, at 5 hundreds of thousands of dreamers, undocumented immigrants who were brought to this country as children, suffered a legal setback as a federal judge in Texas declares the latest version of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA, unlawful. Plus, we're on the verge of possibly a historic strike by tens of thousands of auto workers. Without a deal, UAW members plan to walk off the job at midnight. And a tour stops in Pittsburgh for a Republican event to discuss a, quote, responsible tax reform in the state of Kansas. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for the KOAM News at Noon. Have a great rest of your day.